go. Here they come. Here we are at the Easy Speak.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
At the Easy Speak.
Yeah. I think we just made our theme song.
At the Easy Speak. Mark, we made the song.
We just made it.
I recorded it.
Yay! Yes.
Also,
I love when that happens.
literally, who wants to sign us on for a recording contract?
Literally.
Next topic.
It's giving 1950s Billie Holiday.
Yeah.
Is that was it the 1950s?
Are you guys drink some ice?
I'm going to drink the water out of this ice so my drink can be nice and potent because it's love and liquor.
Potent. Oh, yeah, this thing has really melted.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. All right.
All right, activate.
Activate. Activate. All right.
All right, what are we drinking today?
On episode 2.
Yes. Love and liquor.
Love and liquor here at the Easy Speak Speakeasy.
Yeah.
We're going to have a little, well, first of all, shout out to our fur-lined bottle holder.
That's amazing.
Feeling sexy.
Oh my God, I
in
love
this
that thing.
love season of almost Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Some lemon flavored gin.
Perfect.
You know, it's
Thank
just
you.
the right thing. There you
Thank
go,
you.
my darling. That was not even enough.
No, that's okay.
JK.
It's fine. Thank you. I'm like,
JK. To that little process. And
and we've got some,
flavored water,
Okay.
lemon flavored seltzer water. Although most people do a gin and tonic, but I'm minus the sugary part of that
yeah,
situation.
I don't like that.
We have lemons down here. Do you want a lemon?
Yes, please.
Here, get yourself a little spritz of lemon.
Thank you. Ooh, yeah. Whoa.
Ooh.
Zoom in on that one later. That was great.
And this one's like, wah, wah. 4 drops. Okay.
How rude.
Rude of you.
Cheers.
Okay. We should
Yes.
just dive right into the liquor part.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Since we're here to talk about love and liquor.
Yeah, and we just
Love
poured
and
ourselves
liquor.
a lovely liquor.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Yeah,
You know,
it's important because
'tis the season for liquor. I mean, for some people it's always the season because it's just part of
a lifestyle.
lifestyle of living.
Yeah.
But here in a speakeasy,
Yep.
that's usually what's always happening.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about how because our unfiltered mental health and wellness conversations, to many people it might seem like how y'all up in here talking about mental health when
Yeah.
there are so many people who struggle with substance misuse
Yep.
and alcoholism
Yeah.
and all of those types of things, and be having a drink each episode, which maybe we'll have a drink each episode, maybe we won't. I mean, we probably
We probably will. I mean, it's a speakeasy.
yeah, I mean, we might have some mocktails every now and then.
Maybe.
There may come a time
That's true.
that somebody needs to have a mocktail
That's true.
for one reason or another.
That's true. Yep. Oh, that's true.
Look how long it took for you to get to that.
Oh, that's true. I'm like, I'm going through the, like, I'm like, oh, like if we have a guest on that like is sober, like maybe we don't want to like be drinking around them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
or other personal reasons,
For other personal reasons.
which won't be mine.
Will surely be mine. We'll get to that during the love section. This is not a mocktail, so it's not an announcement.
Oh, anybody who decides to watch this podcast will see that I poured official alcohol into that glass. And is going to watch you drink it.
Oh my gosh.
And will not be watching me come undone at the fact that where would half of my life go?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So I think we wanted to just chat a bit about the differences between substance misuse and being able to have a chat over a drink and where that spectrum falls and how we can have conversations with people who are listening that may even be thinking about if they do have a problem with substances or alcohol and where to turn, and that this be a place where whether people reach out to us through our comments or email or those types of things, that there are resources available for that thing. But that is part of our vibe and who we are.
Yeah.
This is really, truly who we are, and we wanted to be very true to ourselves.
Exactly.
In the podcast. You know, we have many other lives when it comes to living in the world and working in the world and being moms and being business owners and all of the different things that we have. But I think the unfiltered piece of the Easy Speak podcast was really about us being very true to who we are, our personalities, our like very real, unfiltered opinions and thoughts on all of these things, and put it in a setting of who you would, if you ran out to into us in the real world, who would you see?
Yes.
And you
Probably
would
sitting
likely see us at a bar, like chit-chatting
with our iPads.
with our iPads at the same time,
Yeah.
half working, half getting things done,
Yeah.
half drinking and just chit-chatting.
Yeah.
And then at some point shutting our iPads and being like,
We're done working.
this is not going good.
Yeah. It's
It's not going well for us today.
Yeah.
And other times we work the whole time.
Yeah. The times when we don't, I think it's just us being very like aware of what's happening with our brains, our bodies. Like typically it's like at the end of a very long day, we're trying to like squeeze out that last bit of work and effort. And, you know, sometimes it's just like, listen to your body. Right.
And then like, we're like, we're doing great.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the bartender will bring over our food and it's like just nothing but carbs. And we're like, okay, we've lost control of the situation. Let's just.
Here's your pasta, and here's your bread, and here's your pizza, and your mozzarella sticks.
And your bread pudding,
is
ready to go as soon as you're done.
Oh my God. I love bread pudding so much. Especially from that one place that has not paid us money yet, so I'm not going to say their name. But, you know, if you want to say your name on the podcast, hit us up.
Hit us up. Sponsor us.
Sponsored by your business name. Insert business name. And maybe Mark can do like one of those things. So insert business.
You know we like to
direct.
Give Mark a something.
We like to
wave our arms.
Yeah, do a little.
Can you make a unicorn that starts white here and ends purple here? Thanks.
Mark's like, got it.
Mark's like,
sounds like a reasonable.
www.indeed.com.
No, never. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, you know, it's so interesting because, you know, I think there's like this real big movement now to drink less, which I'm not mad about. Like, I think as a society, you know, especially when we think about it, you know, on a scale of other substances that are becoming more legal in the US, like marijuana or like cannabis, where, you know, somebody could smoke some weed and like get in the car and like be fine, right? Most of the time. But, you know, so many people.
Although that is driving under the influence.
Yes, and we don't condone that. However, we know people do it all the time.
Yeah.
And we never hear stories on the news of somebody, you know, like a high driver. You know, like that's not a like thing that's part of our vernacular.
I feel
really.
like it's always like somebody
always a
got
drunk
pulled
driver.
over for going 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's the opposite. You're like paranoid, so you're going, gotta get home. You know, everything. Yeah.
I feel like I thought I was racing, officer. And he's like, at 5.
Everything's just slower, bruh. Including me. And it's good.
And that's the way life should be.
Yeah, you know, like I've never met like you know, angry pothead. You know what I mean? Like I've never, like that's not a thing. But like the angry drunk, or like, you know, the drunk who gets in their car, or the person who gets in their car, and I don't want to use stigmatizing language, but like the person who gets in their car and like has a huge accident that, you know, ends somebody's life or something, you know? So as a society, I'm actually pretty happy to see that people are like moving towards like being more conscientious of the drinking and like how it influences our lives and decision making, and you know, so I think that's good. And also I think it sometimes, a lot of times when like big movements like this kind of sweep across popular culture, there's this lack of like self-awareness, right? So like people get lumped into this like group think, like, okay, like we're doing dry January, for example, right? And like it's like you talk to somebody, you're like, why are you doing that? Like, do you feel like you drink too much? And like, you know, a lot of times the answer is like, not really, I don't really like drink a lot, like, but you know, like dry January, like it's good, you know. And so like I think that's cool, but like I just feel like sometimes when big movements happen like that, people forget to think about what it means for them and in the context of their life. And like, you know, there's nothing more empowering than making a decision coming from like the core of who you are versus like the influence of what's happening around you, you know? So yeah, I just think that that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also bringing up for me as you're talking this idea about, like, we named our podcast the Easy Speak Speakeasy because we have this thing about speakeasies from like years and years ago when we went to do that conference in New Orleans, and like there were all of these like cool places, and we were like, oh, we want to like learn about all these different like speakeasy things. Yeah. And so that's just been something that we have had, but like over the past couple of years where like dry January has really become more of something that people are talking about, and like, you know, if you like search the hashtag dry January, you could scroll for days. Yeah. But interestingly, like conversely, there's like now culturally, like there are all of these speakeasy bars that are opening. Like if you look for a speakeasy in any city, like you can find them everywhere. Yeah. So it's interesting how, you know, there's this on one side, people are saying like, oh, you know, I'm not drinking, but then there's also this like quote unquote like underground movement of like a like hushed way of drinking. Yeah. You know, so it's pretty interesting how these things like unfold.
So cool. It's so interesting because that's what the inception of the concept of a speakeasy was, right? During Prohibition, where alcohol was actually illegal, and so, you know, people went underground with it, and they had these really cool speakeasies like hidden behind like what you thought was like a shoe store or something, and you go and you knock on a bookcase 5 times and then someone lets you in, and it's an amazing bar where other people are drinking. Yeah. You know, and I think that that's interesting because it's like, you know, I think the story goes essentially that literally like the whole population was going to speakeasies, so it was like, okay, like might as well just make it legal, right? Right. And like we're seeing that happen with like cannabis, right? And marijuana, like it's just like across the country it's becoming legalized, and so it, I think, shows the like huge impact that like when people do band together and like say like this is what we're doing, how it can like shift the landscape in terms of, you know, our whole culture, you know. It's like makes something illegal versus not, and that changes the scope of everyone's life and lifestyle and their ability to make choices openly and freely. Right. Yeah.
And I think, you know, that underlying issue of how these things just don't evolve naturally is because oftentimes there are the underlying pieces related to our government and, you know, how are they going to oversee tax, sort of, you know, like that was the thing with Prohibition. How will they contain, maintain, and make money from that? And I think that still remains the challenge related to the cannabis industry. Yeah. And I actually think that some people are drinking less because they can access cannabis now. I think there are a lot of people who
interesting.
would prefer to do cannabis from go somewhere that it's, you know, they can go into like a storefront and
Yeah.
actually like purchase something and ask some questions than
Yeah.
meet their cousin's friend's baby mama's boyfriend that is like giving them a
In the
bag of
cut.
plastic
In the
being
cut.
like, all right, let's go smoke up.
Oh yeah, it's not the vibe.
I'm not into that.
Yeah, it's not the vibe. No.
I'm like, what's in here?
Yeah.
You just have to trust what they say.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
They're like strawberry lemonade, blueberry, watermelon, kush, and you're like, sounds legit. Sounds legit. Sounds like that's
Yeah,
what it is.
it definitely hasn't been lined at all in the process of whatever.
So scary.
Yeah, I don't like that business. So I think that's part of it is,
Yeah.
you know, go in and then there's a number of other ways to take it as well. You know, edibles or
yeah.
you don't have to just smoke. I think there's a lot of people that don't smoke anything anymore, which is great
Yeah.
in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And so to be able to not have
those
to,
lungs.
to take an edible or the oil things.
Yeah, the tincture.
Yeah. There's like so many different ways. So I think it's great. I don't know. That's me personally.
I think it's
with
great too.
like caution.
Yeah.
You know,
like
I
with
mean, there's
everything.
so many memes that are like, this edible ain't shit 20 minutes later. Like, you can't move off the couch, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So you definitely have to like, it's like, you know, when you start drinking, like,
Low and
don't
slow.
don't go having some vodka and
Yeah.
then some Hennessy and then 2 shots of Southern Comfort
Oh,
and
God,
then
no,
a Heineken and a Bud Light and a Jello shot.
I can feel the hangover. As the more things you name, the more it sets in.
The more you're like,
the more I'm like, did I?
you're like, God, I
That-
made it out of college.
Yeah, I was literally
What?
just thinking about that. Like, that sounds like a college night, like crazy. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Yeah.
So I think, you know, there are lots of resources available. And if there's ever a time that we talk about something, like, we're always going to be very unfiltered.
Yeah.
So if we talk about something and it strikes a nerve, I feel like hit us up.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we have our social medias up, Easy Speak on air.
Yep.
On all social media, right, Mark?
All platforms.
All platforms. And
Yeah.
I think we'll probably have people can post comments on
Oh yeah.
the different places where our podcasts are.
YouTube probably. Yeah.
YouTube and like different places. We're definitely monitoring that stuff, and if nothing else, it gives us an opportunity to see what everybody is thinking.
Yeah.
And guide our conversations, or potentially have guests join us to have these conversations, because we're two people with two opinions, and I think we're very aware of the fact that our opinions are based on our own life experiences, and
Yep.
so we're very open to other people coming in and
Giving us your
like having
opinion.
conversations, collaborative conversations, unfiltered,
That's the whole thing.
yet respectful and always fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know,
And we can have mocktails.
and we can have mocktails.
That could be a mocktail day.
That could be a mocktail day. I'm down for the mocktails. I've had some really good ones prior to turning 21. I will say, you know, there are definitely people who, you know, may be wondering, like, am I having an issue as it relates to whatever substance? You know, we're talking about alcohol today. But, you know, and so my rule of thumb that I always say to people is, you know, if you're noticing, and this isn't the only thing, but oftentimes it's like, if you're noticing that whatever substance has interwoven itself into like the fabric of your lifestyle to an extent where like you can't, it feels difficult to like separate from it, that's when we know that, like, okay, maybe it's something that we need to look at and investigate a little further, and like start trying to maybe do a little bit less, right? I think a lot of times people get really daunted by the idea of stopping something that they've used as like maybe a coping mechanism or a way to deal with a difficult period of life or whatever the case may be altogether, because it's so interwoven. But like, even if we start to think about like, which is why dry January in a way is good, right? Like, how can I do this less and replace it with something else that's actually healthy and good for my body? Because at the end of the day,
Take a little break.
Take a little break.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah, you know, if instead of drinking, you know, but if you find yourself not being able to do that, if dry January is hard or impossible for you, then, you know, that's when we would say like, okay, maybe we need to figure out like how to unravel this, you know.
I think that I'm going to pose a question that many families have posed to me, to you. So I've had a lot of families along the way that have said like their families or friends have made reference to the feel like that they feel like, I'm tongue twisted, that they feel like they may have a problem because every night they have a glass of wine, a glass or two of wine, or a couple of beers after work, 1 or 2 beers, or maybe even like smoke a joint or something at the end of the day. But they feel like I come home, it's the end of the day, get my kids like relaxed or whatever. That's what I do before I go to bed, and I feel like it's not intruding in my life.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be a way that somebody can kind of self-assess that situation?
Yeah. Well, I think if it's, you know, again, we've got to think about it from the perspective of like how much of it is happening, right? So like the people that come home, they have a glass of wine or a couple of beers, I think that's pretty normal. Although in the medical field, when we see that, we say, okay, like it's actually too much because it's not great for your health from a health standpoint. But in terms of a standpoint of like it being an addiction or something that is ruining your life, like it doesn't sound like that's the case, right? So we all make decisions as it relates to our health, right? Like, you know, some people go and have McDonald's every day. That's not great either, but we're not necessarily like side-eyeing them, right? Like, so, you know, I think it's just a matter of like holding that perspective. You know, what are your own goals for health in your family? Like, are there things in your family history that, you know, drinking a beer or 2 a night might exacerbate or trigger or maybe cause to show up for you, you know, as a health problem? Like thinking about it again from your very own like perspective standpoint, where you're coming to it, what your health goals are. But yeah, we know like drinking every day, even if it's a little bit, is like not necessarily great because our body recognizes it as a toxin. So it works hard to get rid of it, you know? So there's that aspect of it, but it's also like, you know, just because it's unhealthy for you doesn't necessarily mean you have like a problem with it, right?
Because there are many other cultures, like I automatically think of like
France.
In France or Italy,
Yeah,
like
I think about that often.
This is very normal, you know, that they drink wine. It's part of their culture all the time. And I think that's been like a lot of the things that I hear from people. So I think if you're thinking about it in assessing that, this is what I've always said to parents or other people. If you're thinking about it and you're actively paying attention, then you're already on the right track.
Right.
Because it means that you have a level of self-awareness of,
Right.
okay, like a couple of people have said something, I'm paying attention to it, I feel like I'm on track. And even just having that level of self-awareness means like, I feel like you're not going towards the end of like, this is all consuming, or you're like, I don't even care what anybody else thinks. You know, those are some of the signs when that defense mechanism starts to come up, or those sorts of like negative factors. That's what I usually tell people. Like, if you start to feel really defensive if somebody says something, maybe you want to take a look privately. You can be defensive to them, but like make that note to yourself and like later think about like what made me so defensive about that. And then of course there's so many numbers that you can call and ask these questions for free. Like SAMHSA. Now I'm going to try to remember what SAMHSA stands for. Substance Abuse and Mental Health Association. I can never remember the A.
It must be SAMHSA.
We'll link it.
We'll
link it in the description.
SAMHSA, and then there's also like questionnaires that you can take. You know, screening. You know, if you just Google. Google me, baby. Google it.
Google me, baby. Google me, baby. Okay. Cool. Shall we shimmy on to the next topic called love?
Called
love. La 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 love. La 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 la. La 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 la. Hit the note.
Nope. I'm not even gonna attempt it because last time I scared myself. So I'm just gonna stop while I'm ahead.
Okay. So here we are, rapidly approaching your literal, like,
my second favorite
day of the year after Christmas, right?
Yep. Valentine's Day.
For those of you who are listening,
lovers
let me set
and friends. Valentine's Day is for everybody.
And friends. For those who are listening, I just want to set the stage of your outfit. Full pink, like
floral,
baby pink dress
pearl buttons.
with pearl buttons coming up the side,
frilly,
with a frilly little bottom, and a duster that's like a little black, but mostly like big roses and floral pink and whites and different shades of pink. And pink gloss and pink nails, pink and white nails. And like, what, do you work for Hallmark?
No, but I should. Call me. I would love to be a Valentine's Day spokesperson. I'm sorry if you hear me chewing ice. I realize that I probably shouldn't be doing that right now.
I'm conversely
Unless you're
wearing
into ASMR. Isn't that so funny? Have you ever watched those videos? Oh, hold on. They go. Are you getting that?
Is that sound coming through?
You getting that? ASMR? Lovely.
I don't know what kind of ASMR that shit is, but okay.
If it comes out lovely, please, like, isolate it as a sound. Like, we can use it. Anyway, me chewing ice, it might be really lovely ASMR. You never know.
So sitting opposite of the jar of Pepto-Bismol is me. Is me in all black with red chucks, baby.
Red chucks.
And I have my I did put on my XO earring studs.
How cute.
And my scarf has little hearts on it. My leopard scarf has red scarves on it, and I did those little things just for you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Just to help participate in your commercialized day of your second favorite day of capitalism.
Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, so we're acknowledging that Christmas is also a capitalistic holiday.
100%.
Okay. All right, that's fine as long as we acknowledge that, because most people get so into Christmas, and then when Valentine's Day rolls around, and I'm sorry, but a lot of times it's single people who are like, Valentine's Day sucks. And I just think that people like don't embrace everything that it means. It doesn't just have to be for people who are like in relationships, right? Like we see people who do like Galentine's Days, right? Where
I love that.
They get all the girls together. That's and
fun.
They celebrate each other, and it's, I just see it as an opportunity to think about and focus on love exclusively, you know, like we're, and, you know, my boyfriend
How many
and
Valentine's Day events have you had in your life?
I've never held one, and I've never actually ever been invited to one either, but
Well, I wonder why.
but I just know that it's an option, that if people really wanted to try to get into the spirit of Valentine's Day, there are options of things that people can be doing.
I wonder why you've never been invited to one.
Well, maybe because I'm always in a relationship
Maybe because I'm always busy.
and busy. That's true. And so, like, you know, like my boyfriend and I had this conversation recently just about, like, you know, like if you're showing love to the people in your life on a daily basis and you're really putting an effort to, like, show love, right, and have love be at the forefront of your
I
life,
feel like I need a nap.
then, you know, maybe Valentine's Day isn't like that big of a deal. But I just think it's nice to, like, spotlight it, you know. And as a girl, I really love when, like, my man goes out and buys me chocolate and candies, and he does it all the time, like, but like on Valentine's Day feels extra special. And, like, you know, who doesn't love a little jewelry, an excuse to buy a little jewelry, like,
I bought you that necklace.
I know you did buy me this necklace.
Okay. And it wasn't on Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day,
It was for Christmas, though.
which we celebrated in February.
I'm just saying.
We're too busy.
I was just saying, like, you know, it's nice to have these moments and these holidays interspersed throughout our year to help us to.
I also bought you that
things.
bracelet.
Yeah, this is
2
from your
bracelets.
sister, the social bead.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. I don't have any jewelry on.
I think those were just
Jessie.
because I love yous.
No, these were also like birthday or Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I appreciate that sentiment. So, yeah.
You know, just love.
Just love. You
I'm
know?
not buying you shit for Valentine's Day.
That's fine. Jesse's got that covered, I think. We'll see.
Name drop.
Uh-huh.
We keeping that in?
Why not?
It'll be fun years down the line.
Yeah. Well, I can.
Just don't say anymore.
Okay. I'm just gonna say. I'll be rocking our babies, listening, and be like, oh, you know, I want to go back and listen to episode 2. It's been a while. Like, we've got like 12 seasons. This is how, I'm going to be pregnant for 12 years.
It'll be really fun if this road goes a different way to come back to episode 2.
It won't go. It won't though.
And a different husband will be like, so you was rocking Jesse's baby, bro? With all your love Pepto-Bismol dress.
And the reality is going to be him being like, oh, honey, that was so sweet. Remember, like, how many years ago that was?
So sweet.
What we were doing, what our lives were like. Yeah. So anyway, I just think Valentine's Day is awesome. And growing up, I always saw, like, my dad make it a big deal for my mom. Like, he always gets her, like, the most ginormous bouquet you have ever seen. Every year, I'm like, and it's just, like, just a great opportunity, you know, to, like, do all of that good stuff. I mean, you know, you could do it any point in time of the year, and it actually is a little sweeter when you get flowers, like, just randomly, you know, but, you know, I think it's sweet. And so
my Valentine's Day, I mean, like, you know, I've had all the Valentine's Days. I can't even sit here and tell you the things that have happened and wildness that has occurred on my Valentine's Days of guys,
oh my gosh,
in my lifetime trying to do things, because I hate surprises unless I'm 100% surprised.
Yeah.
Don't, if you go like this, I got a surprise for you.
Oh yeah, I hate that. Yeah,
then you better cancel that.
Yeah. Cancel it.
I don't want it.
I already know about it. Why would I want it?
No, thank you, sir. But my mom my parents used to celebrate Valentine's Day, but my mom used to make Valentine's Day super special for my sister and I when I was a kid. And so we would wake up in the morning and we would always have like special Valentine's Day breakfast. And we would have balloons on the table, and we would have a special like Valentine's Day like setting, and she would get up, and we were not the kind of family that my mother got up and like made us a full breakfast every day before school. And to the mothers that do that, there's a special place in heaven for you.
Yeah.
But like, you know, we would just get up and have some cereal, get out the door, see you later, bye.
Yeah, of course.
But on Valentine's Day, it was like we would have heart-shaped pancakes.
Oh, I love that's exactly what I was picturing.
And like eggs and like our little like heart like plates, and we would have our gift for the day and a special lunch that had like a note in it and our balloon. So Valentine's morning was always like very special to me because my mother set that like special day for me and her and my sister.
Yeah.
Because my dad used to leave for work super early, so my mom would always make that happen.
That's
and so as I had kids, I always did that with my kids.
Yeah.
So Valentine's Day, I usually do something special for the kids.
Yeah.
That's, you know, just like a little thing.
That's cute.
That's special. But, you know, I don't know, like Valentine's Day, I just always feel like I don't want to be in line at this restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't want to like,
Yeah,
none of that feels like fun or romantic or whatever. I'm like, you want to celebrate Valentine's Day on August? What? I'm already in summer.
That's it. I think that's the problem, is that if Valentine's Day was in August, you might actually be way more down for Valentine's Day.
No, but let me tell you what I was about to say.
I was just saying.
If on February 13th, we were getting on a plane to go to an island.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's the problem.
Then maybe I would be like,
you don't feel cozy enough. You're like, it's cold.
I'm like, what? I'm not going outside to be in the waiting room of a TGA Fridays, and even if you took me to a TGA Fridays, as soon as you pulled in the parking lot, I would already be on the Uber app. Uber everywhere out of here.
She's not TGI Fridays.
You dropped your drink.
No shade. If honestly, like I don't, but also no, that's not a vibe. No, I am actually more like you already know. Like my vibe is like I'd rather stay in anyway.
You always want to be home.
Yeah, so you know, like
you're like, what are we doing tonight? Staying home?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Everybody, plan canceled. She doesn't want to go out for her birthday.
I would just rather stay home anyway. So yeah, I don't like the restaurant vibe because like then everyone's there for the same reason. The restaurant's trying to rush you out. Like I've been to the fancy restaurant and it's like they're like, here's your first course, here's your second course, because like they got to get people out. It's a big money maker, you know. So I don't love that experience of it, but like
if you go to the higher end spots, it's not like that.
They don't. It's not as apparent. But they book
they're
it.
moving you through.
Yeah, they move you through. They're not letting you just like linger and talk for hours and just close the restaurant down. Yeah, like they're like, here's your bill.
They're like, would you like to take this to the bar?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. I don't know why I've been at this table so long.
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel you on that. But you know, I think just. I was listening to NPR the other day, and they were talking about Valentine's Day, and every year they do a Valentine's Day fundraiser, which I think is a great idea.
Ding ding.
Yeah, they partner with a local florist, and so part of the proceeds go to them to keep the radio going, and but they were talking about how like people aren't just getting it for their romantic loves. People are getting flowers for their mom or for their kids, or so I just think it's like cool opportunity to just like stop and show appreciation.
Yeah, we should call it Appreciation Day.
Yeah,
instead of Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's true. Well, Valentine's Day comes from the Greek mythology, right? Isn't it like Cupid and Valentine's Day? Like
I think it was some massacre.
It was called, what's it called?
Anyone in the booth?
Anyone in the booth? It was they talked about it on Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. I remember.
How old are you?
The new version of Valentine's Day, we want to know
Did it come from a slaughter fest?
Yeah, like what was the original Valentine's Day situation?
Christian feast day, honoring one or two early Christian martyrs named Saint Valentine and other significant cultural
It's
events.
like a religious holiday.
Interesting. It always comes back to religion.
It originated as a Christian feast day, honoring one or two early Christian martyrs named Saint Valentine.
Wow.
What a good podcast team we have.
I know, they're so great. So maybe next year we at Pinnacle Partnerships, maybe this Speakeasy, we dub it Appreciation Day and run a fundraiser simultaneously.
Yeah. Or like a love.
Yeah, just like a love.
We first started out our appreciations on Valentine's Day. Remember?
That's
We
right.
first started
We
sending
sent
them
people
out.
chocolates. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we were
Excellent
like,
opportunity.
everybody does everything during like the holidays.
Christmas and yeah.
Yeah. But now we do our calendars and people really like the calendars.
People love the calendars. Yeah.
What a day at the
fine.
Speakeasy.
What a day. What a day.
Okay. So
Okay.
what do we got to say here?
We got to say.
Oh,
Oh.
the first thing that we wanted to talk about is how we're going to end our podcast now.
Yes. Yes. So we know that at the Speakeasy, we are often talking about a lot of sensitive topics that may make us feel or think certain things and just require that we just take a minute to hit the reset button before we continue on with our days. So we're going to end every episode with a short meditation session, deep breathing, just really centering and grounding ourselves so that we can return to our days, in the best holistic way possible. So if you want to stick around for that, that's great. We would love to have you. And if you would rather go off and do something else, if you have a better self-care thing that you want to do for yourself, that's great too. But we just encourage you all to take some time, take a minute to just center and ground yourself after being with us at the Speakeasy, because we talk about a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you don't have a place where you get that right now, you can always pop on to our podcast and go to the meditation minute, and you have a space where you can access that all the time.
Yep. And then we also want people to, if they're going to be leaving us before the meditation, to make sure that they
Subscribe, rate, and review.
subscribe, rate, and review.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was thinking
We're not done yet.
that
Sorry.
we should totally give thanks to our friends here at BCA
Oh, yeah.
for providing us with this great space to record
And store all of our
store.
recordings.
And also, by the way, episode 2, new set, who dis?
New say who this?
We changed it up just
It's a
like
whole
that.
vibe. It's a vibe.
Might change again.
It's a vibe. Totally. We're just figuring all this
It
out.
will change again.
Yeah.
It'll keep
Getting
becoming.
better. It just keeps getting better and better and better, and it's so good. Who sings that? What's that song?
Listen, we're gonna need to have a music catalog here. The amount of times you ask about a song.
We need Shazam. I have all these songs in my head, and I have no idea. I'll literally just go about my life just random song lyrics. It's High School Musical, I don't know what I'm singing. It's just in my brain. In my brain.
So I think we're wrapping it up.
Wrap it
on
up.
Episode 2, Love and Liquor.
Do a little wraparound.
Love and Liquor, a little wraparound.
I can't get away from it. It's
a little wraparound. It's
a little wraparound.
I love that we say Love and Liquor with our real Boston.
Love and liquor.
Love and Liquor.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 2, wrapped.